The truth is hidden in plain sight, but only the eyes of the awakened can truly see it. Since birth, most of humanity has been conditioned to believe in a reality that is not truly real. From your name, your nationality, your beliefs, even your concept of I, everything was given to you. But who are you beyond what you've been told? Ancient masters from all traditions, Hermetic, Vedic, Gnostic, Taoist, all spoke of a veil, a Maya, an illusion that blinds the soul. This veil is reinforced by society, education, religion, and culture, not out of malice necessarily, but because the blind have taught the blind for centuries. You were born with amnesia, a divine being clothed in flesh, yet forgetting your true origin. The Matrix is not just a movie, it's a metaphor of the spiritual amnesia. The first step to awakening is questioning everything. And that's why this knowledge has always been hidden in symbols, parables, myths, and sacred texts, because only those ready will be able to decode it. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. What if I told you that the greatest spiritual teachers in history never sought worship? They sought awakening, not to be idolized, but remembered, not to be followed, but realized. Jesus of Nazareth, Thoth the Atlantean, Hermes Trismegistus, Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, Zarathustra, Krishna. Each of them emerged in different times, cultures, and tongues, yet all pointed toward the same unshakable truth. The divine is not outside of you. The divine is you, hidden behind the veil of ego, fear, and illusion. They did not come to build temples. They were the temples, and they reminded us that we are too. Yet, what happened to these teachings? Over millennia, their words were rewritten, their truths diluted, their symbols distorted. Sacred inner teachings, once reserved for initiates ready to face the fire of self, became public dogmas, stripped of power, weaponized for control. The teachings of Jesus were turned into institutional religion. The wisdom of Hermes was buried beneath centuries of mistranslation and secrecy. The esoteric layers of the Vedas and Upanishads were lost in ritualism. Thoth's emerald tablets vanished into legend. The Buddha's fire of self-liberation was replaced by blind devotion, but fragments remain, clues, keys, hidden in plain sight. The emerald tablets whisper, "Man is a flame bound to a mountain, yet light is his essence. Know thyself and be free." The Gospel of Thomas declares, "Split a piece of wood and I am there. Lift the stone and you will find me." The Kybalion reveals, "As above, so below. As within, so without." The Vedas thunder, "Tat tavam asi, thou art that." These are not metaphors, they are invitations. But to accept them, one must be ready to die. Not physically but psychologically. To die to the illusions of separateness, of control, of the little I that clings to identity. This is the sacred path of the inner alchemist. Not the turning of metals, but the transformation of consciousness. To take the base lead of ego, fear, trauma, and transmute it into gold. The gold of awareness, the gold of unconditional love, the gold of inner knowing. It is not an easy path. It is not meant to be. Because awakening isn't pleasant. It destroys who you think you are, to reveal who you've always been. The mystics call it ego death. The initiates call it rebirth. The alchemists call it transmutation. The ancients called it Gnosis. And this Gnosis was never meant for the masses, not because it is elitist, but because it demands readiness. You must face your shadows. You must confront your illusions. You must burn in the fire of truth until nothing false remains. And only then, when the false self has crumbled, can the real self rise. That's why these teachings are forbidden. Not because they were locked in vaults, but because they were hidden behind the veil of human unconsciousness. The truth is never hidden from you. It is hidden by you. These masters didn't want followers. They wanted mirrors, beings who remembered they too are divine. And so their words became riddles, their truths encoded in symbols. Because only the heart, not the intellect, can unlock them. Let this be clear. This is not a religion. This is a revolution of consciousness. The real sacred texts are not written in books. They are written in your soul. But to read them, you must be willing to turn within. Not blindly believe, but directly experience. Not worship gods, but become one with the divine. Not obey rules, but live by universal law. The laws of vibration, of mentalism, of correspondence. This is the secret path walked by mystics, sages, and alchemists across every age. And you, if you've come this far, are one of them. Or at least, you're ready to remember. So I ask you, are you willing to unlearn the lies you've inherited? Are you willing to awaken the divine spark within you? Are you ready to step beyond belief and into knowing? Because the time of blind obedience is over. The age of awakening has begun, and the hidden wisdom of the great masters is rising once again, for those with the eyes to see and the courage to act. The journey of the awakened soul is never easy. In truth, it's one of the most brutal, sacred, and life-altering paths a human can walk. It is not about light and love all the time. It is about facing the darkness within, unmasking illusions, and surrendering everything you thought you were. This is why ancient mystery schools had initiations filled with trials. It's why the shamans of the Amazon drink bitter medicine, plunging into visions of death and madness. It's why Buddhist monks spend years in silence, and mystics disappear into caves to confront the storms of their own minds. Because awakening is not a concept, it is a fire. It burns away all that is false until only the soul remains. At a certain point on the path, every seeker enters the dark night of the soul, a term popularized by St. John of the Cross, but known across all traditions. This is the moment when everything loses meaning. Your ego dissolves. Your old identity no longer fits. The world seems alien, hollow, or even cruel. You may feel spiritually abandoned. You may cry out to God and hear only silence. But this silence is not a punishment. It is initiation. The mystics say, God hides not to punish you, but to show you how to find him within. In this darkness, something profound happens. You stop seeking answers outside yourself. You turn inward. You remember, the path of awakening is full of trials, not because the universe wants to hurt you, but because these experiences are sacred tools of transformation. Just like a sword must pass through fire to become sharp, just like a diamond forms under pressure, the soul must be tempered through challenges. You will confront your shadow, the parts of yourself you've denied or hidden. Face your attachments to people, labels, beliefs, comfort. Meet your inner child, wounded and afraid, asking to be loved. Endure periods of emptiness where the old has died, but the new has not yet emerged. This is the liminal space, the sacred void between death and rebirth. It is where true initiation happens. These inner transformations are not unique to you. They have been encoded in sacred symbols across cultures. The serpent shedding its skin, releasing the old self. The phoenix rising from ashes, rebirth through fire. The Ouroboros, the serpent eating its tail. The eternal cycle of death and renewal. The crucifixion and resurrection, death of ego, birth of the Christ itself. The chrysalis and butterfly, isolation, dissolution, and ultimate transformation. These aren't just myths. They are mirrors of the soul's journey. They speak to a deep, archetypal truth. You must die to who you were, to become who you really are. Are you ready to step into the fire? This path is not for the faint of heart. It is not for those seeking comfort, followers, or superficial peace. It is for the warriors of the soul, the alchemists of spirit, the ones who would rather face their inner demons than live a comfortable lie. To awaken is to burn, but in that burning, you become light. As the mystics say, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Rumi. So the real question isn't whether you're spiritual enough. The question is, are you ready to let go of who you think you are? Are you willing to be broken open so your true essence can emerge? Because if you are, then you're not just seeking truth anymore, you're becoming it. If you're watching this far, it's because your soul remembers. You are not just a mind, a body, or a name. You are consciousness. You are light trapped in form. You are the one who got lost in the game of separation and is now ready to awaken. This moment, this video, this calling is not random. The universe does not speak with words. It speaks in synchronicities. And the fact you're still here means this is your moment. The great masters never left you. Their voices echo in your intuition. Their symbols appear in your dreams. Their fire burns in your heart. Now the question is, will you rise? Will you answer the call? Will you remember? Because awakening is not about knowing. It is about being. Be still and know that you are God. If this message stirred something inside you, then you are ready. Subscribe to this channel, The Alchemist. Here we dive deep into sacred wisdom, forbidden teachings, and soul-awakening truths. Together we remember what the world tried to make us forget. Leave a comment below with, "I am ready to remember." Let the universe witness your choice. Turn on the bell, because what's coming next will change your inner world forever.